Welcome to another Gmail tutorial. Today we're going to continue on with our series on composing emails. Our series on basic uses of Gmail. So I'm going to send this to myself, generic user. I'm going to type in a subject, hello world 2. And I'm going to start composing an email. Okay, so I've got this email done. Now, let's say that I wanted to spice it up a little bit. That this is kind of cool, but it's not as cool as it can be. Now, to spice up your emails, to make them look a little more professional, or to get some more word formatting options, all you have to do is click this A with an underscore button here. And it brings up this whole other palette that allows you to do a lot of different options. So let's say this title right here, I want it to be a little larger. I can click on this and it allows me 4 basic sizes. I can make it smaller, I can keep it at the same size, I can make it large, or I can make it huge. I'm just going to make it large for right now, and you can do that for any thing you want. I'm also going to make it bold and underline it. Also, bear in mind, I'm just showing you this for tutorial purposes so that you know it's there. A lot of times, if you add too much formatting to an email, it tends to look really tacky. For example, if I chose to make every letter a different color in this word, that would look really tacky, especially if I did a sentence like that or a few different. And notice how some letters, just because it's a white background, they're not even going to show up. Like this W, the yellow is so close to white that it actually doesn't really show up. I need something like dark blue for it to even show up. But let's say that I didn't want the background to be white. Well, I can select some text, I can go into here, and notice I was only changing the text color. I can change the background color, which by default is white, and change it to, say, blue. Or to green. And now the background color is green. Again, don't go overboard with this because it looks really tacky if you do too much like this. But say you have a paper to write and you wanted one of your friends, or you've written it and you want one of your friends to start reviewing it, that you could send it to them as an email, and then they could copy and paste the text back into a Gmail window and highlight the sections that they felt you needed to change in red or something similar. Now, by default, so I've kind of shown you you can also change it to about 10 to 12 different fonts. I always just leave it sans serif. It looks the best, I think, but if you want to do a different font or part of your email in a different font, that is an option too. So we've covered these options so far. Now, by default, everything is aligned to the left in both in Word formatting and in Gmail. But if you want, you can have it aligned to the center. Now this is exactly justified in the middle. And notice how if I increase this, if I go to full size, it's still in the center. I'm just going to keep it full size for the rest of this tutorial to kind of show you some of the other options. So I can also align it to the right. Well, I guess I had I was selected that. So let me select this line, and I'm going to align that to the right. So that I wouldn't suggest doing this because aligning it to the right can be a problem. Like, people might not even notice if words are there unless you have a specific reason to do it. Let's say I wanted to do a list. I needed to get groceries, trash bags, and gas on my way home from work. So I can select these three and I can go to list, and all of a sudden I've got a 1, 2, 3 list. Or I can, still with those selected, hit bulleted list and it turns into bullet points. Let's say that, so groceries, technically I can get trash bags at the grocery store. So what these two buttons do is they allow me to indent. So I'm going to indent 1 because while I'm getting groceries, I can get trash bags at the same store. That kind of falls under the same list. Let's say I accidentally indented this. I can unindent it by going the indent less button. And bear in mind that a lot of these, they actually have a keyboard shortcut. I'm on a Mac computer right now, so it might be slightly different on a PC, but you should be able to type this in. So see, this one is the command key and the left bracket. So if I hit command and left bracket, it indents that. If I go command and right bracket, it unindents it. Finally, you can quote something. So if I was not sincere in my email, I could quote it. And notice that quote, it makes it look, it doesn't add quote marks around it. What it does is it makes it look like you copied this from a previous email and pasted it in. Let me show you how it looks like if I do several lines. So say this was a quote from a separate email. If I hit the quote button, that whole thing gets pasted in. Let's say this line I didn't want to be quoted. I could hit quote again. Oh, and it further indents it, almost like it was another reply. And you can keep going with that. If you go back here, actually, I don't know how to undo the quote. Let's see if we quote it again. Yeah, be careful with the quoting thing because I'm not totally sure how to unquote something. Finally, you can remove formatting. I mean, this will remove the quote, but it'll also remove all the other formatting. So you would have to go back again and reselect it and then redo it if you wanted it to be done. So I'm just going to select everything because I really don't need it to be formatted. Remove formatting, and it goes back to the way it was. And I just have to go here and delete these things, and then it's back to the way it was. So hopefully that helped, and hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of the type of formatting you can do in Gmail. Notice that there isn't anything about tables. In most word formatting programs, you can add tables. That's not a feature in Gmail that you can do by default, but I'm going to do a special video, kind of a workaround that shows you how to add tables directly into a Gmail email. For now, that was the formatting options in composing a Gmail, and stay tuned for other videos where I go through these other options. I will talk to you later, and see you next time. Bye.